Hey maths guys, Guiders Maths here. We're here today to take a look at some tricky completing the square questions, something which lots of students often make tiny little silly mistakes on. So let's have a look. So we've got express 7 plus 12x minus 4x squared in the form a x plus b squared plus c. Now remember, they will never actually use the phrase completing the square. It's just something we call it, okay? They won't actually use that wording. This is the wording that we'd see in our exam. So here we've got our difficult version where our x squared coefficient is not 1 and it's also negative. These are ones that we see the most common mistakes on from students. So first, we're just going to rewrite it out in the normal order we'd write our quadratic, right? Just because it's otherwise a bit off-putting otherwise. So minus 4x squared plus 12x plus 7. Okay, so we haven't changed anything. We've just rewritten in our normal quadratic order. As long as I remember to put my x in, we're all good. So what we're going to do is concentrate on this x squared and x term. Remember, we are going to factorize out this x squared coefficient, the minus 4, from these two terms. Okay, so we're going to use some square brackets just to help us distinguish between the different brackets we've got going on. Remember, completing the square has brackets anyway. It's easy to get lost. So we're going to take this minus 4 and put it outside and say, well, okay, what would now be left inside these square brackets from these two terms if I've taken this minus 4 out? So I'd have my x squared here. That's a nice easy one. And then I've got this 12x. So if I divide the 12 by minus 4, I get minus 3x. And I leave the plus 7. We're not touching the plus 7. I'll leave that where it is. Now we can complete the square for this bit inside the square brackets. Right, so we follow our normal completing the square rule. So we've got minus 4. I'm going to keep those square brackets. Remembering now, we're going to take the x squared. Remember, we just put an x at the front, because if we were expanding our squared brackets, that's where it would come from. And then we halve the minus 3. So in this case, it'd be minus 3 over 2. Always easier to stick with fractions. I know lots of you might like to write minus 1.5. Just more difficult to work with fractions, with decimals a lot of the time. Fractions much easier. So then we remember our completing the square method. We need to get this 3 over 2 and remove it outside of this square bracket. Okay, so we have our minus 3 over 2 squared, right? We square the whole fraction. That's why it's easier, right? 3 over 2 squared is much easier than 1.5 squared, even though it's the same thing. Close the big square bracket, stick the plus 7, right? We haven't touched the plus 7, so nothing that we're doing with that. So now we need to expand or simplify. So it's up to you what order you want to do that in. So I might simplify this minus 3 over 2 squared here. In fact, to save space, let's just say we've squared the 3 over 2, so let's put our 9 over 4 in there instead. So we'll put our 9 over 4. So now we're going to expand with the minus 4 times this bracket here at the front and times the constant over here as well. So we're going to multiply this out. So for our bracket here, it's just going to be minus 4 with that whole bracket with the squared and the minus 4 in front. Right, nice and simple to do that one. And then we just be very careful. Minus 4 times minus 9 over 4 is going to make it a plus. We've got two minuses. And then 4 and my denominator 4 are going to cancel out. So I get plus 9. And then I've got my plus 7. So I'm now ready to write my final answer. X minus 3 over 2 squared plus 16. And there we go. We've taken our quadratic with the awkward minus 4 and turned it into our normal completed square form. No errors. All good. So we're going to have a look at another example. So we're going to put those completing the square skills into practice by having a look at an applied question where we're going to use it to solve a problem. All right. So we're going to tell, well, we've been told the minimum point of the curve with equation y equals 3x squared minus 2kx plus 10 lies on the x-axis. Given that k is greater than 0, find the value of k. Now, there are a couple of different ways you could solve this, but we're going to practice our completing the square skills and do it that way. Okay? So you might remember, completing the square, lots of information about the turning point for a quadratic. So we've got our 3x squared up here, minus 2kx plus 10, and we're going to write it in that completed square form. So just like before, we're going to focus on these first two terms, the x squared and the x term. We're going to put our big square brackets in. And we're going to factorize out this coefficient of x squared, which is just a 3 this time. No minus to worry about. So if I do that, I get my x squared here. And now, if I have my minus 2k x and I take out this factor of 3, it's just going to be minus 2k over 3x. All right, so it doesn't change much. We're just dividing by 3. Remember, if I expand that, I get back to where I started. No problem. Plus 10, remember we haven't touched that, so we're going to just park our plus 10 over there, worry about it later. So now we can complete the square for the stuff inside our square brackets. All right, so if we have a look, we're going to put our x and our squared, and we are going to take the minus 2k over 3 and halve it. So if I've got minus 2k over 3 and I halve it, it would just be minus k over 3. There we go. So if we've put that in to complete our square, remember now we need the bit that goes outside. So we have our square bracket, but we need the term here to fix the fact that we put our minus k over 3 there. So we're going to subtract k over 3, remember all squared, all squared. And that plus 10 still floating around there, waiting for something to do. Fine, it's all right. Get to you in a minute, mate. So now we're going to expand. Okay, so we're going to multiply out, remember, our 3 times our squared bracket here, and then our 3 times this term over here when we've squared it. All right? So nice and simple for this first bit. We just get our 3x minus k over 3 squared. That was easy. Now we've got minus k squared over 9, and we're going to times it by 3. So let's write that. We're going to do 3 times k squared over 9. This little lonely 10 still hanging around, part of the crowd now, sort of getting involved again. So if we simplify as much as we can, we now have x minus k over 3 squared in our bracket with our 3 in front. This, if I simplify, remember, so 9 and 3 means that that's a 1 and that's a 3. So I'm left with minus k squared over 3 plus 10. So we've done our completed square form, okay? Now if you remember, that means from here, we can read off where the turning point for our curve would be. Sounds useful, because we've been told that the minimum point is on the x-axis. So that must be useful. So if we kind of think or sketch down what we're looking at, we have a positive quadratic, so we know it's a U shape, and we're saying the minimum point is on the x-axis down here. So what do we know would definitely be true at a point that's on the x-axis? Well, I don't know what the x-coordinate would be. Right, I'd have to do some working out to get that, but I do know that the y-coordinate would have to be a 0. All right, it has to be a 0 if it's on the x-axis. Now, if we remember from our completed square form, this is the part that tells us our y value or y-coordinate of our turning point. So if we're saying this is our y-coordinate, but this is our y-coordinate, we can just connect those 2 dots together to make ourselves a little equation. So if I put minus k squared over 3 plus 10, I need that to equal 0, right? Because that's where I want my y-coordinate to be, on the x-axis. I'm just going to solve that. So I stick my 10, still waiting for something to do. It's almost there. K squared over 3 times it up by 3 gets me k squared equals 30. So k equals plus or minus root 30. There's not much I can do with that. It's just a root 30. But remember, I don't want to leave my answer like that because I was given an extra bit of information. I was told k had to be positive, so therefore we know it must be root 30, as in positive root 30, and not our negative version. All right, so that's a little bit of practice for our completing the square skills, including applying it to some problems. Let me know in the comments how you got on, or if you've got an awesome other way of doing that question, maybe using differentiation. Like and subscribe for more content. Awesome job, as always.